Hello viewers, welcome to my lesson on decimals. Today I'll teach you on conversion of decimals to fractions. In other words, how to write a decimal as a fraction. There are two steps that you're supposed to follow. One, write the decimal given as a fraction, and two, simplify that fraction that you've got here to its simplest form, rather write it to its lowest terms. So what are the steps that you should follow? I'll take you through some examples that I've prepared. I have two examples, example L, example A, and example B. So example A, this is how to solve it, or this is the solution. 0.25. The first step we said, write the decimal given as a fraction. So how do we write the decimal as a fraction? That is what we did in our last lesson. First, we look at the number after the decimal, which is 25 for our case, out of how many steps do we have from the decimal to the right? 1, 2. So the answer will be, the denominator will be 1 and 2 zeros. So 0.25 as a fraction is 25 out of 100. The next thing you ask yourself is, which number can divide both 25 and 100 without a remainder? So the number that can divide both without a remainder is 5. So 25 will divide 5, and again 100 will be divided by 5. So 25 divided by 5 gives us 5, and 100 divided by 5 gives us 20. Again, 5 out of 20 is not in its simplest form, so we can still continue dividing further. At this stage, we still ask ourselves, which is that number that can divide both 5 and 20 without a remainder? And you realize that still 5 can apply. So 5 divided by 5 gives us 1, and 20 divided by 5 gives us 4. So 0.25 written as a fraction in its simplest form will be 1 out of 4, or a quarter. Alternatively, there's a different method you can use. This is simplifying by cancelling. So we start by changing 0.25 into a fraction, and we realize that the number after the decimal is 25 out of our 1 will have 2 zeros, because after the decimal we have 1 and 2 steps. So that's why we have 1 and 2 zeros. We start divide by cancelling. Which number can divide both 25 and 100 without a remainder? And we realize that the number is 5. So 25 by 5, 5. 100 by 5, 20. So the answer is 5 out of 20. We continue dividing further because it is not still in its simplest form. So which number can divide both 5 and 20? And the number is 5. So by 5, 5 divided by 5, 1, and 20 divided by 5, 4. So the answer is 1 out of 4, or a quarter. So you realize that the answers are still the same. Whichever method you use, you still get the same answer. My second example is 0.08. Let's see also how this goes. 0.08. We saw that the first step is write the decimal as a fraction. So our decimal 0.08 as a fraction will be 8 out of 100. Why? We pick 8, which is the number after the decimal, out of how many steps do you have after the decimal? 1, 2. So our 1 will have 2 zeros. Therefore, 0.08 as a fraction is 8 out of 100. This is not in its simplest form, so we continue simplifying it. Which number, we ask ourselves, which is that number that can divide both 8 and 100 without a remainder? And the number we choose is 2. So 8 divided by 2 gives us 4. 100 divided by 2 gives us 50. Still, 4 out of 50 is not in its simplest form. So we continue dividing further. Which number can divide both 4 and 50 without a remainder? And the number is 2 again. So pick on 2. 4 divided by 2 gives us 2, and 50 divided by 2 gives us 25. At this point, we don't have a number that can divide both 2 and 25 without a remainder, so we stop at there, and 0.08 written as a fraction in its simplest form is 2 out of 25. Alternatively, we have a different method of doing it, and it's simplifying by cancelling. So 0.08 written as a fraction will be the number 8, which is after the decimal. Out of our 1, we'll have 2 zeros because we have 2 places after the decimal. So we start cancelling. So which number can divide both 8 and 100 without a remainder? And we can start by 2. So 8 divided by 2 gives us 4. 100 by 2 gives us 50. We are at 4 and 50, which is still not in its simplest form. So we ask ourselves, which is that number that can divide both 4 and 50 without a remainder? And then we can still pick on 2. So 4 by 2, 2. 50 by 2 becomes 25. Our answer is 2 out of 25. Out of 25. You realize that the answers are still the same. Whichever method you use, you still arrive at the same answer. Thank you for watching my lesson. I hope you've understood, and goodbye.